We're the Smiths, and we're a family of 6 who decided to trade in our 5-bedroom Houston home for a new home on wheels. We travel the country full-time in our Brinkley Model G 3950, and today I'm going to take you on a little tour of our kitchen. Well, instead of filming you guys an hour-long tour of the whole RV, I figured I would break it up into sections. So today I want to show you what I love about this kitchen. Now, being a full-time family of 6, living, working, doing school out of this rig, I needed the kitchen and the living room to be the heart of the home on wheels, just like our sticks and bricks kitchen and living room was kind of the heart of the home. It's where my husband ends up working half the time, more than half the time. It's usually where we do school. It's where we have meals together. And I really needed this whole space to be as functional as possible. So when I saw this floor plan, I knew that this was kind of the unicorn floor plan for us. It really checked all the boxes that I was looking for. And Brinkley, just as a manufacturer, had a few things that I was really, really looking forward to, like no floor vents, having everything ducted so that we didn't have, the constant dog hair and crumbs and things like that getting in floor vents. So I was thrilled, needless to say. It checked the boxes for, a place to sit, have family movie night where all 6 of us fit on the couch. That was asking a lot for an RV living room. We got the little dinette, we got some additional bar seating here. So it more than checked the boxes for me. So let's take a look and I will show you kind of how I make this space work for us. This is probably the most frequent question that I've been getting is like, where do you put all your stuff and how do you actually live in a space this small? So stay tuned and I'll show you. So first things first, I really wanted to do a residential size fridge. Again, there's a lot of us. I cook like I'm feeding an army all the time. So that was a really big deal. It's not as big as, typically what you'd have in your house, but we also had a counter depth fridge in our sticks and bricks house. So the size is fairly comparable to that. We also have a built-in ice maker, which is giant. 2 thumbs way up there. Pantry is a pull-out. Everything's solid wood. The shelves are all adjustable. Got some pull-outs here as well. I love this feature, and it kind of automatically locks for travel. Here we've got what they're calling a utility closet. This is probably one of my favorite features for Mother's Day. Nothing like getting a vacuum for Mother's Day, but I got this Dyson. I love that it is plugged in. It's always charging right there. Being in the RV, there is no end to the amount of laundry or the frequency with which I need to vacuum in this thing. It's always filthy, always dirty clothes, and there's always like sand on the ground. So having this thing ready to go at a moment's notice, and I don't have to plug anything in or haul anything out of a closet. It's just super, super convenient. So well done designing that. If you're in the market for an RV, definitely look for a place where you can put your Dyson. Again, all solid wood, adjustable shelving in there too. So super handy. Up here, I've got a little bit more space. So appliances and things like that go up here. I've got crock pot, Instant Pot. This is the large Instant Pot. I think it's the 8-quart because, again, bunch of us. And then I have storage for paper towels back there. One big concern that I had was how all my kitchen stuff was going to fit in an RV. When we started downsizing at our house, I really started initially just pulling things out of my kitchen. And I boxed things up for a while, and if I ever got to the point where I needed them, then I pulled them back out. But I really just tried to go as minimalist as possible while we were still living in our house to get a feel for truly how minimally we could live. There are things like KitchenAid stand mixer. Like, how often do I use that? I don't know. Maybe you're watching this and you bake all the time. That's not really how we eat. So I didn't have a need for it. That stuff went into storage. So I really didn't have a lot of, larger appliances that I needed to make room for. In here, these are all adjustable, as you can see. Cups, shaker bottles, a little bit of, my husband's pocket dump stuff goes in there. And then up here, casserole dishes, some extra things for, on travel days. I usually pull this out, it goes in the sink, and then anything that's kind of loose, if we've got apples or tomatoes, things like that are sitting out, those all get stored in there. A little expandable dish rack. This thing is pretty handy because during the day when we accumulate dishes, it can expand and it can fit right in there. And then we can still use half of the sink, and we can catch up on dishes, stay up on dishes rather than getting caught up on dishes is, in theory, what we're going for. It doesn't always work like that. One thing that Brinkley has become fairly well known for are these little hidden pull downs. So this one is magnetic, so you can store all your knives safely in there. And then this one is intended to be for utensils, but I didn't want the kids constantly pulling down on this thing, so we use ours for K-cup storage. Obviously, we're running late, but we have an emergency shipment coming of Texas pecan, straight from HEB. If you know, you know. Over here, since we did not use this pull down for utensils, I actually just keep our daily utensils in this top drawer because it's easy for the kids to get in and out of, and then another catch-all. And as you can see, I have an entirely empty drawer here. My fears about not being able to fit all my stuff in the RV clearly haven't been an issue. We've got a nice deep drawer here that I keep all of my little Pyrex dishes, things for leftovers, since they're pretty heavy. The sink is a pretty good size. Then we've got, sprayer will come out. I also love these things. Side note, this has nothing to do with an RV tour. These are papaya reusable dishcloths. I put a little 3M hook there. They've got a separate hook that comes with them. These things are genius because I don't have a ton of room to store big bulky paper towels. You can just use them like you would a regular paper towel, and I've noticed that they have really cut down on our paper towel usage. Counters are always a mess. There's always sticky fingerprints on everything. Get them wet. You can wipe up with them. You can use cleaner with them, or you can just use them to clean up messes like you would a paper towel. Wash them off again. They're, I think, a bamboo viscose, maybe. I could be making that up. But they don't stay wet, which is really nice. They dry fast, and they'll get kind of hard and wavy when they dry. Just re-wet them, use them again. They don't absorb any moisture. They can't mildew because they dry so quickly. So, love these things. I buy these a lot. I have a referral code if you're interested. I will try to remember to post that in the comments of this video if you want to try papaya. We have a little tilt out drawer there. And then utility under here as well. Cleaners, dish detergent, all of that stuff. More papaya towels. And then all my cleaning rags, things like that. Lunch boxes for the kids, for little day trips, hikes, travel days, reusable shopping bags, all that good stuff. In this corner, pull out spice rack, which I really, really like. This microwave is sort of a 3-function microwave. It will microwave, it's a convection oven, and it's an air fryer. Don't ask me how it works with those other functions, because I've literally only ever used it as a microwave. Maybe someday I will learn how to use the other functions, but for now it's just like I use this button, add 30 seconds, and that's about the end of my microwave usage. Up here, some additional storage. You know, overflow spices, things that we don't use very often. We do have a 4-burner GE profile oven. Obviously this runs from the propane that we keep on board. And I will say it's great if you are already used to cooking on gas. I replaced all of our gas appliances, not all of our gas appliances. I had replaced our previous gas with an induction cooktop at our house, and I loved the induction cooktop. I loved it so much. When our house flooded during Hurricane Harvey, right after I installed it, I immediately bought the same thing, put that back in. You could put a big pot of water on there and it would boil like that. This thing, I put a big pot of water on and I feel like it takes roughly a week to boil the water. So maybe I'm just too impatient to cook with gas. I don't know. Anyway, it gets the job done. The oven works, but we don't use it very frequently just because it heats up the whole RV. It's more of a cold weather kind of thing. So I opt for using our air fryer instead. So we already had this air fryer, and you know, it has 11 functions or something like that. So for the most part, if I need to bake something, I try to just do smaller portions and I bake in here instead of heating up the whole RV and firing up the oven. We do have storage underneath as well for a few things. And then up here, plates, bowls. I've got a nesting set of bowls that I really like. I'll try to remember to link those in the comments as well. And then here, you know, measuring cups, hot pads, extra dish rags, things like that. Down here, skillets, pots. We've got a vertical section here that's got, you know, things like large platters, cutting boards, anything that can store vertically. Now on this side of the island, Brinkley does provide a pull-out cutting board. I don't ever use this simply because I don't like the idea of pushing down on that thing and cutting it and getting it all dirty and then cleaning it up. But it is handy because it is directly over your trash can. So if you wanted to cut things up, they'll fall right there. All your little scraps can go directly into the trash can, no problem. Then we've got a utensil drawer here. I love having integrated trash and the fact that it's a double trash can. Now in here, this is where paper towels will go on travel days. So I just stick the roll of paper towels in there. I could store some other things in here, just haven't really had a need to. And then this is a really useful drawer. Ziploc bags, aluminum foil, all that good stuff. And then of course your koozie collection and random things in there. Now underneath, on this side of the island, Brinkley did not forget about your pets. So there are integrated food and water bowls. These things will just pop out. And then you can slide them away when not in use, or if you just don't need them. Underneath the cabinets, there are integrated plugs, under cabinet lighting, and then USB and USB-C. This view here is probably what sold me on this RV. This particular floor plan offered 2 bar stools. We have 2 seats at the convertible, what they call the dinesk, I believe. It's half dinette, half desk. And then a decent amount of seating here. All right, this U-shaped couch. It is probably the most controversial thing about this RV, I think. It is fantastic in theory. Like, kudos to Nate and to the whole Brinkley team for what they envisioned and how effectively they utilized this space. However, it's one of those things that, like, the execution probably needs a couple iterations. So we're already seeing that. They are now making this U-shaped couch an option. You can do the U-shaped couch, or you can do an L shape that's here and then just this side with 4 recliners. So Jeff is kind of pushing for the L-shaped couch, but I really like all the additional space that we get here because we would miss sort of this whole section of couch. And yeah, TBD on that. So if we get an opportunity and we can sit in one and we can see how it feels, then I don't know, maybe I would entertain it, but we'll have to see. It is not the comfiest couch. So it's shallow, especially this spot, because when you set up for travel, there's 2 motors stored under here that will bring the whole couch so that that edge is touching this edge. So this part is all collapsible. So this is probably, if you're getting good seats on the couch, this is probably your worst seating is going to be on this side, which is probably where you want to be if you're watching TV. So again, great in theory, not perfect in execution, but certainly for me, worth the trade-off. I would much rather have kind of an uncomfortable U-shaped couch that seats us all than like a 4-seat super sofa that we all squeeze onto and we don't get that cross-conversational seating. One thing that really, really helps is I grabbed this little footstool from IKEA, and it holds extra blankets, all sorts of stuff that we need, and it alleviates kind of the short, uncomfortable aspect of the couch if you can just put your feet up. So, and again, there's enough of us. We slide this thing in and everybody can we pile into a big puppy pile, put your feet up, and it totally works for us, no problem. So, and this is also small enough that we can kind of slide it out of the way and it's not hugely obtrusive. Now, up here we have board games, things like that. These little bins are fantastic. They will hold your board games, your Monopoly, Clue, whatever you've got. They're available on Amazon. I ditched all of the boxes so that everything would just be uniform. And so that stores kind of all of our entertainment type stuff. And then I think this might be a mess in here. Not too bad. Crayons, office supply, homeschool stuff is all up there as well. Another thing that Brinkley does that is really, really smart, a lot of the time when you tour RVs, there's a lot of wasted space, or there's a lot of kind of like these weird cavernous things that you could store something in, but how do you really access it? You got to kind of pull everything out to get to the back. It's just not a great use of the space. Whereas Brinkley did a great job with the pullouts and things like that, so that it does feel a lot more residential, and it feels very well thought out, well designed, well engineered, and less like there's just this weird space. Put some trim on it and just make it this weird box, right? So they did that here and disguised this. So we've got a little bit of extra storage up there. As you can see, space is a premium in an RV. There's 6 people. We go through a lot of toilet paper. We got to just stash it everywhere. And for the kids, we've got some storage under here as well. And we actually drilled, we just used a paddle bit, and we drilled through this piece so that we could run the Nintendo to the TV. After we did that, I realized Brinkley had already done that up above the TV. But either way, we probably would not have put the Nintendo up there with the kids getting in and out of it. So this works really well. Now we have 2 options. Should we ever want 2 options, I guess. And then just a little bit of extra storage. Here we have a little breaker box and then fuses down there. And then for cold weather, so we have not been anywhere cold yet. Haven't really had an opportunity, but the kids do love our little fireplace. You can change the colors, change the settings, and they love to turn it on and turn this place into a sauna in the middle of summer because they're just little Houstonians. So that's what they're used to. They like to feel like it's, 120 and 100% humidity all the time. So that, I'm sure, at some point will be a lifesaver when it gets a little bit chilly at night. Although the dog does pretty frequently lean up against it and turn on the fireplace as well. So I'm a big fan of this area of the RV. First of all, it's always really light and bright, even when we're at a spot where we barely have a campsite to this RV spot and our neighbors are right there. We do have these shades. So we've got privacy shades built in here. And then one thing on most windows in here, Brinkley has a 2-shade system. So there are daytime privacy shades. You can put those up. And then at night, you can pull down your privacy shades. Or you can leave just open windows, and then all the windows that open have a screen as well, separate from the shades. So this is a space that gets a ton of use. My husband will work out here. I will work out here. The kids will do school here. Kids will eat here. It's just kind of, it's a catch-all a lot of the time as well when you come in with groceries. These chairs secure with these Velcro straps here while we're traveling. But one thing that's really nice about the Dinesk is that this part is adjustable. So if you want, you could have a chair on each side and have these separated. Lego door. So this part will pull out. More Legos. So this whole thing will pull out, and if you wanted to make the couch a little bit smaller, you could have your table with additional seating here. Another question we get asked a lot is about traveling full-time with a dog. You never know when there could be a power outage or something like that. And if we're on a day trip and we're away from the camper for a while, we've got a 70-pound dog. We don't want him essentially baking in the RV in 100-degree heat until we get home. So there's a solution for that. This white box in the back corner is a temp stick. They're available on Amazon, a couple $100, and that is mounted there and it talks to our phones. So at any point in time, we can check and see how this guy is doing and what the temperature in the RV is. Well, thanks for joining me, guys. I hope that answered some of your questions about kind of how we live, how we cook, how we store our things in the RV. I've got more coming for you. I'm going to show you master bathroom and master bedroom, how we store all of our clothes, things like that, and the much anticipated toy hauler to kid hauler conversion. That's also going to have a little bit of an explanation on how we built the frames to hold all 4 kids' twin beds. So stay tuned for that. Those are coming soon. If you have any questions, anything I didn't address here, you can find me on Instagram, the Tactical Trekkers there. Shoot me a DM. I'm happy to help if you've got any questions about this particular model or about kind of full-time RV living. So let me know the kind of stuff that you guys want to see, and I'll film the video and get it out there for you. All right, have a great day.